Hi, this is Craig Collins, and in this video, I'm going to tell you about the #1 secret that got my client 100,794 Twitter followers in less than 10 months. And you want to watch the video to the end because I am going to tell you how you can get another training video that will show you exactly how I use this tool to gain massive numbers of Twitter followers. My name is Craig Collins. I am a social media consultant. I'm also a trainer and coach to several entrepreneurs and small businesses. Now, the first client I want to introduce you to is, of course, Chris McLaughlin. And as you can see, Chris is the client that has over 100,000 Twitter followers. So Chris approached me in July of 2009. At that point, he had probably less than 500 followers total. He was limping along, and he asked for my help. So I worked with Chris. We put together a specific strategy, and we implemented a tool, which I'm going to tell you about in just a second. But you may be thinking, well, why do I really care to have 100,000 Twitter followers? What does that do for me? It's just a number. Well, I'll tell you in just a second. This is a screenshot of BudURL, which is an application that I use for, of course, shrinking links, but also for tracking clicks. And as you can see, the first blue arrow is pointing to clicks for the week of 2,074, which go to Chris's blog, shortsalesriches.com/blog. The second blue arrow is pointing to clicks for the week of 696, which points to a webinar that Chris promoted during this particular week. And as you can see, he received a total of 2,770 total clicks. So what is the significance of that? Well, if we look at the alternative to generating traffic and generating clicks on the internet, of course, the #1 sort of strategy these days is Google pay-per-click, which Chris does use. So if we look at some of the numbers, Chris spends $1.20 per click on Google AdWords. And if we look at $1.20 per click times 2,770 clicks, which he generated through Twitter alone in 1 week, that translates into $3,324 per week. And if we annualize that, that translates into over $172,000 a year that Chris would have to spend on Google AdWords to generate the same number of clicks that he's getting on Twitter alone. So how much is he spending on Twitter? That's absolutely nothing. Okay, so you can see that is a pretty dramatic savings in marketing costs going from Google AdWords to Twitter for the same number of clicks. Okay, now there are a few other strategies we want to talk about to grow your Twitter followers and grow relevant Twitter followers. Now, one of the things that you want to keep in mind is #1, you've got to have quality tweets. Okay, so when someone goes to your profile page, this is a snapshot of his profile. You have about 3 seconds to impress someone in which they're going to make a decision as to whether or not they want to follow you. Okay, they're going to look at 3 things. #1, they'll look at your tweets. They're going to look to see if you have a headshot, and they're going to look at your bio. Okay, now a lot of people will overlook this, overlook the importance of these 3 factors. Okay, so headshot is, of course, important because you want to show people that you are social, that you want to connect with them on a personal level, and you want to complete a bio as well. Tell them a little bit about yourself, who you are, your background, personally and professionally, because, again, you want to connect with people, engage and interact with them. That's what social media is all about. It's not just throwing links out there and marketing to people. It's about developing relationships. And that's why Chris has so many clicks, because he's developed these relationships over time with people, so he's developed that rapport, which gets people to click. Now, another thing he does is he promotes his Twitter page across his other social media sites. Okay, you don't want to just count on attracting people to Twitter or following people on Twitter to grow your following. Okay, use your other sites out there. So this is a snapshot of his Facebook page. And the top right arrow, you can see that he's pointing to a post that he just put out. He says, "I just crossed 100,000 followers on Twitter today. If you're not following me, make sure you do so." And he gives his link to Twitter. And the bottom left arrow shows another opportunity for people to follow him on Twitter. Okay, so you want to promote your Twitter and really all your social media sites across your various sites to grow your following and your friends. Now, here's a snapshot of his blog. So first thing you see when someone hits his blog, the top left arrow is pointing to follow Chris on Twitter, and it gives his Twitter link. Bottom right arrow shows a number of tweets that he's just sent out, and another opportunity to follow him on Twitter. Okay, so again, you want to give people opportunities to connect with you on all your social media sites, on your websites. Chris also sends out emails. He has a substantial list of email subscribers, and of course, in the footer of his email, he asks people to follow him on Twitter. Okay, so moving on, here is the tool that I use to grow followings, okay, on Twitter for all of my clients. So if you see at the top of the screen here, we have the search type where we can search by keywords, we can search by profile data, by location, followers of another user, and etc. Okay, so you can get very targeted in terms of the followers that you want to attract on Twitter. Or you could take more of a broad stroke if you wanted to just say search followers of another user, which we've done before. So in Chris's case, he's a real estate broker and a real estate investor, so he's interested in connecting with other investors. So in his case, we might use keywords like short sale or foreclosure. And then we might get location specific and say that he only wants to follow people within a 20-mile radius of Tampa. And if you look at recency, we can say that we only want to follow people who have been on Twitter within the last day. So that way we eliminate people who have just started an account and really are not active users. We only want to follow active users and people of relevance. Okay, so you can see you can get very targeted in following people and building a very relevant list of followers on Twitter. Okay, now one other thing I want to show you. This is of course a snapshot of my blog, and I do encourage you to get TweetAdder, and I'll give you an opportunity here. If you do order TweetAdder through my blog, if you just click on the link where you see the red arrow pointing to that TweetAdder graphic, send a receipt after your purchase to Craig at craighcollins.com, and I'll send you another training video exactly how I use TweetAdder. So I'll walk you through step by step how I use TweetAdder, in which I've used to grow my following to over 75,000. Chris is over 100,000, and several other clients in the multiples of tens of thousands. Okay, so again, click on that link, send me the email that you receive, your receipt from TweetAdder, to Craig at craighcollins.com, and I will immediately send you my step-by-step video instructions exactly how I use TweetAdder. And of course, you don't have to order it through that link. You can go directly to tweetadder.com, but if you do want to get that video, I'm happy to send that to you. And just as a disclaimer, according to the FTC, I should mention that if you do click on that link and purchase through me, I will receive an affiliate commission. So just wanted to make a disclaimer to satisfy the FTC requirements. So anyway, that is it for this video, folks. Hope you got some value out of it, and feel free to connect with me again on Twitter, on my blog, on my other social media sites. I'm happy to help you if you have any questions about social media. So thanks for tuning in, and I will speak to you soon.